Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another video. Wanted to take the time to do another Glassdoor review, this time of Parexel. And this is a company that a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about. And, we're just going to do another Glassdoor review of them. And to start off, I want to say this is the company that most of the people I know who have worked for them, especially on the clinical monitoring side, these are CRAs. They used to have a position called CMA, which was the in-house CRA version of a CRA. But this is the company that every single one said, when it's all said and done, when they're done jumping around, when they're done, and they just want to pick one company to work for, Parexel is the one. They said they all want to go back to Parexel, and that's where they want to end their careers, at Parexel. So there's something they got going on there in the magic to make people want to say that. And obviously it comes from the top down, from the management positions on down, at least in the clinical monitoring area. Now, because we know how people feel about the clinical monitoring area at Parexel, we are going to go into some of the reviews for some of the other positions on this review, just because they're so highly touted in that section. But that's one of the only companies where people have unanimously said, when it's all said and done, they want to work at Parexel. That's where they want to end their careers, and that's where they had the best experience. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through this Parexel review. So without further ado, this company was recently purchased by Pamplona Capital. I don't know if you saw my review on that and me talking about what it means for regular people, not the executives, for when a merger happens. But this was not a merger within the industry. This was a capital management company that came and decided they wanted to buy Parexel. So this was not a merger. It's not like, IQVIA or like PPD decided they wanted to buy Parexel or something. So this isn't as bad. So they've got over 10,000 employees, big company, founded in 1982, $2 to $5 billion in revenue per year. So slightly more than PPD. Based in Waltham, Massachusetts, so Northeast, and that's a good place to be. There's a lot of CROs that have a presence up there, first and foremost, and then there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies that have a presence up there. You've got a lot of big pharma up there, so not a bad place to be if you're Parexel. Very easy to get around if you want to win some business from your pharmaceutical neighbors. So pretty good review catalog here, 1.1K reviews, 394 jobs, 1.6K of salaries, 300 interviews. So we've got a lot of data here to talk about. Once again, we're not going to be naive to the fact that the people that typically review a company, but when you have a lot of data to choose from, it makes things better. So right off the bat, we've got a CRA here giving 5 stars, and that's exactly what I was talking about. That, on the clinical monitoring side of things, they seem to be doing a really good job with their employees. So I've been working at Parexel more than 5 years, great organization, love my manager, passion. Not a lot of family time, career growth. So, this is one of the things, they love their manager. So that must be something they're doing right over there at Parexel, that their manager is really good. So going in here in reviews, and we're going to do the same thing where I look at my phone, and because we can't see it here, I'm not adding a review. So here I think that's supposed to be senior procurement specialist. Pros, they say great people, great work from home option, great training and family, 401k, blah, blah, blah. They just talk about the benefits pretty much. Cons, not much salary hike, not much promotion, stressful situation at procurement department, too much workload. So that seems to be the case at most places. You don't get too much of a raise when you jump around department to department internally. You basically get your big raises when you move company to company. And it's a good time to move around company to company before there's so much consolidation. When there's a lot of consolidation, you have less places to go and offer your services. So waiting to exhale, this person sounds like they had a lot of work to do. So pros, exciting leader in clinical research, organization space, good corporate vision, Management played with initiative overload, execution of key deliverables lacking. And this was said January 19, 2008, and this person was a director level. So this one, more than a year, they were an account manager in New Jersey. So cons, high turnover within 2 years, few opportunities to advance without mid-level manager sponsorship, low to mid-range pay scale for industry. So those were the cons. Pros, or established company with multiple business units, many experienced medical personnel with years of experience. So great place for a start in pharmaceutical industry. This person said, thankful for the time there, but glad that I am gone. Laid back work environment. Manager was very easy to get along with. Ample opportunity for overtime pay. That's good. A lot of places don't offer overtime. This person said poor upper management, broken processes, and unwillingness to take heed to ideas to repair said processes. High turnover rate. And this person was writing, they said at least, this was January 4th, 2018. But they said the high turnover rate was pre-acquisition. So, okay. So this person said senior finance manager, they wouldn't been working at Parexel for more than 3 years. Good opportunities, but as with most, you need to own them. Culture, the cons or culture and morale are affected by recent uncertainty. That's the same with any company. You go through a merger, you go through a buyout, there's uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen in the future. So no real issues there. And they raise a good point with the opportunities. You need to own them. So things aren't going to be handed to you in corporate America. You have to go and get them. You have to own them, like this person said. You have to really put yourself out there and make sure that you go get them. You're going to make sure you have to take more responsibility, put in the hours, put in the work. But what's crazy about corporate America is even then, you still put in all that time and effort, you still may not get what you feel like you deserve or what you feel like you've earned at that point. So it's all about networking. As we talked about, you got to have both the hard work and the networking to make it in corporate America. You can't just have one or the other. You got to have both. But specifically, the networking is even more important because there have been people who get promoted and get into positions who don't work the hardest. So specifically the networking. So moving on here, this person said, not a positive environment, but grateful. Health benefits are good. Benefits are good. That's pretty much all they said. Cons, department I was in was very mismanaged, putting a lot of time and effort into the job, but never even received acknowledgement for any of the hours or weekend work. See, that's what I'm telling you. You got to really own your opportunities, and no one's going to toot your horn for you unless you toot it yourself. So you've got to keep that in mind. The department was not open to any input from the employees, and the speak up part of the high performance culture was absolutely discouraged. I've always been a high performer in my career, but this job actually made me question my value. Thank goodness I left, and see now there's no need to question myself. So this person was a full-time employee more than 5 years, and they were a project manager. Now, if you are new to clinical research and don't know about project management, those guys work hard. They earn every penny that they make. They straight up deserve it. So I think they're underpaid. I think that's one of the professions that's underpaid in clinical research for the value they provide. I think they should be close to $200K for the amount of value they provide. And I think they're drastically underpaid. Same thing with study coordinators. They need a pay raise because they do a lot for not as much money as they should be making. So same thing with project managers. And, if you don't manage the stress correctly, you can burn out from project management and you can, become depressed, et cetera, et cetera. So let's keep it moving. We're not going to get into some of the nitty gritty here. This person in reimbursements was talking about one particular situation where they expensed a car and I guess it wasn't reimbursed. So that's a personal issue on it. That doesn't seem to be a big deal. This person stayed a long time at Parexel, more than 10 years, they said. Decent benefits, good company outings, fair compensation. The cons, they said, like any place these days, some bad apples in management can really turn things sour. So I thought it was interesting. because they have here recommend CEO. And I thought it was interesting. If we go back to the overview page, let me see. Come on now. There we go. 91% approve of CEO. That's incredibly high. And they've got an overall 3.3 rating, which is pretty good. And 61% would recommend to a friend. But this is ridiculously high. So I don't know what he's doing, but I guess keep it up. Let's see what else we got. Let's see if we can go to another project manager. Reimbursement, project manager. Let's see. Let's go here. Okay, I can't go. Let's see if we can. Dang. All right, let's see what we can find. Reimbursement. No. No. Let's see. It's not matching up with my phone here. So hopefully we can eventually get it to match up. Safety physician. Come on here, phone. So basically, overall, Parexel seems like a good place. You're going to have your normal, typical issues with any place. And it's, it's not a bad thing. No place is going to be perfect. But like I said, most of the people on the clinical monitoring side, I'm not talking about anything else, but on the monitoring side, said that they would want to end their careers at Parexel. And I got to tell you, I have a number of people that I'm close with that were initially CMAs at Parexel. They used to have an in-house CRA position called CMA, and they paid pretty well right out of college. None of my friends were making under $50,000 for entry level in-house CRA position, which was great for the time. This was a few years ago now. All these people are CRAs now, but they were not paying under $50,000. So imagine getting paid $50,000, $51,000 as an in-house CMA, your first job out of college. That is really good for just a bachelor's degree. And they did a good job. And during that time, it was a year at that in-house CRA position. And then they were kicking people out the door to become CRAs. Now it can be a little bit harder depending on the economy and the state of affairs in clinical research. But they were literally kicking people out the door to become CRAs, begging them to become CRAs. When they eventually did away with the CMA position, they apparently gave people an ultimatum that said, you can either go be a CRA, so we're going to pay you more money and you can become a CRA, or you can find another position within the company, or you can leave. So we're going to give you this highly sought after position, bump your pay, maybe $20,000 or so, or you can go get another position elsewhere. Needless to say, you can guess what people chose. So overall good company, guys. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I mean, you have people that really, there's all different types of people. There are people that will complain about everything, and there's people that will complain about nothing. So I think I've gotten a pretty good, review scale here on what it's like working there, especially on the clinical side of things. And this review obviously is going to be biased towards that side because I have good friends that have worked there on that side of things. So, but for some reason it's not really matching up with my phone. I was messing around with the filters earlier, so maybe that messed things up. But let's go over here to the salaries. So you see CMAs, 47 salaries, $55,000 a year on average. So for an average, you're going to have some below, some above. So that's really good for an in-house CRA. They're paying really good for an in-house CRA. So we've got, let's see what else we got. Project manager, 82K. Okay. Hard to know what, what levels they are, but that seems pretty decent. Let's see, CRA2, it's locked, but I've got it right here. So they got CRA2s at 82,000 on 26 salaries. So they could do a little better, but it's not the worst. You'd like to see 85 to 90 for CRA2s. Senior CRAs, they've got them at 104,000. Maybe I should just add my salary in there, and so next review we'll have it unlocked. Senior CRA, 104,000, not bad. That's pretty good. CRA1. Now this is amazing. Let's see. CRA1, 570,000. That's perfect. That's right in line with where you want to be as a CRA1. Some people will pay you less. Take it anyway, because you can always come to Parexel clearly. And this is on 14 salaries. Project specialist, 53,000. This is going to be like your entry level project management job, the right hand person to the, sort of like a project coordinator, your right hand person to the project manager. 53,597. That's a really good rate. We don't know if it's level 1, level 2, so it's probably a mix in there. So they're probably paying just under 50 for the level 1s, and then level 2s, you're in the 53s, 53, 54, 55 range. But CMAs, once again, 52,000 for this one. Really good. Really, really good. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, here we go. They've got another one for CMA. They have another one for CMA on 10 salaries at 54,000. So really good. CRA, 73,000. Project director, 140,000. Really good. So here's another one for CRA1 at 70,000. Let's see what this CRA2 is. 88,000. So really good. Their salaries are pretty competitive. Obviously, you can, when they offer you a salary, you can negotiate on top of that. But really, really good salaries to start with, especially for the CMA. They're just not paying like that anymore for in-house CRAs. But we'll see with more central monitoring coming up. More and more people are starting to shift to that. Every study is probably going to have an in-house CRA eventually. So we'll see. That position could become high demand, and we'll see what the salaries are talking about, dependent on that. So the salaries are good. Let's see about the interviews. Yeah, they aren't lowballing people, which is good. So difficulty 2.8. I think that's a little bit more difficult than PPD. Most people applied online. Most people had positive experience. Good. So let's go over here to CRA2. See what we can find. Employee refer contact within 2 days online submission, 3 separate interviews, 2 phone interviews, 1 video interview. First 2 interviews are to determine if you are qualified. Third is more technical to discuss work history. Easy interview and felt more like a conversation if you know clinical trial terms. So excellent. As a CRA2, you really should know the nitty gritty of being a CRA at that point. I mean, they're paying you almost $90K, so you really should know what you're talking about by that point. Especially because you've probably been through a couple positions before then. You've probably been a project specialist, a project coordinator, or a clinical trial assistant before, and you've obviously been a CRA1 before. So you should know what you're talking about then. Average interview, they said negative experience. Let's see what they say. Very easy and quick interview process. 1 screening call, 2 phone interviews, and then 1 hour Skype interview with line manager. Basic CRA questions related to job roles. So pretty good, pretty average. Let's see what else we got here. CMA interview. I'm looking at my phone now. Let's see if I can find it here. All right, whatever. CMA interview. This person said, I thought the questions were rather straightforward and they encouraged taking time before answering them. I asked if I would hear back soon, and they both said they would let me know either way. I never heard back from the company, much to my surprise, since they both strongly hinted I was a shoo-in for the job. I was disappointed and really only annoyed that no one ever contacted me about it. So, yeah, happens. Let's see what else we got. CRA interview. This person said very easy. So recruiter reached out with a few general questions at first and then passed my information on to the hiring manager. Phone interview followed by in-person interview with 3 different individuals from the department. So seems pretty like a standard interview situation where you're going to have a recruiter screen to see if you're qualified. Then they're going to pass you off to, maybe a CRA or a line manager. You're going to have an interview with 3 of them. And then they're going to follow up with either in-person or a Skype interview where you might have a panel or just one-on-one. So that's pretty much what you're going to see there for CRAs. Let's see. This one's Senior CRA said 4 interviews total. The first 3 were by recruiters. I was told that a final interview would be a webinar. I never got past my 3rd interview to speak with hiring manager. Okay. Clinical trial specialist interview. So this person said face-to-face. They said, at first my salary range was too high. I received a call from a recruiter manager who asked that I consider Parexel even though they could not pay as much as my experience justified. I agreed and liked the people I interviewed with and took the position. So it looks like they paid him low, but he still did it. So this person, project manager interview, let's see, can't find it. So interviewer missed the phone call and no apology. At the interview, was told by one of the interviewers that it's young people, high stress environment. Not like any of us have family or kids. No response after interviewing, even after being told that response by end of the week. HR said will get back to me after multiple reminders and months passed by. So, like any good company, HR drops the ball sometimes and forgets to call people back. So, we're not going to hold them too much against it. Okay. All right. Now this is like the 4th one I've seen that said that. Referred into company, fast 2-round phone interviews on site with hiring director after a month. Then no contact from anyone at the company for a month. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time that I'm reading this. Okay, then a business analyst interview in 2016 said the same thing. So maybe this is a knock on Parexel, the one knock that they have that we've seen. It's becoming a situation where it's becoming a situation where you are not getting contacted by HR. So keep that in mind. Make sure with any interview that you guys do, make sure that you keep up to date and keep on track of HR, because they forget about you sometimes. They're juggling a billion things like everybody else. So make sure that you keep up to date with what they're doing and what the situation is, and do not be afraid to follow up with them. You can ask them like, hey, do you mind if I follow up with you if I haven't heard by you by such and such date? Do not be afraid to follow up with them, email, phone call, etc., to make sure that you don't slip through the cracks. I mean, this happens at all companies, but I've seen it a bunch here on the reviews. So make sure you keep that in mind if you're applying to Parexel. So that's it for the interview section, guys. Pretty much normal stuff. Let's see the benefits. Health insurance, 401k, PTO. This 11 said 3 weeks to start, but takes 7 years to get any further days. So you start with 21 days. That's not bad. Then obviously, they said after 7 years, then you get more. So that's not bad. Standard benefit stuff. The usual. So overall, pretty good. Like I said, guys, this is the company that most people that I have talked to said they would want to end their careers with in the clinical monitoring side of things. So if you're a monitor and you're listening to this, or if you're, something else in the clinical research space, you want to keep that in consideration. So you can take that with a grain of salt. You can go contact other people and see what they say. If you work for Parexel, would love to interview you on your experience there as a follow-up to this video. So you can reach out, you can comment down below or email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com as always. So would love to hear your feedback. Also, guys, comment down below if you've worked at Parexel or know someone there and you have any comments to say about them down below. Would love to get that conversation started down below. So that's it for this video, guys. As always, subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button, please. I haven't asked you guys to do that in a while, and I'm afraid that a lot of people have been watching the videos and not subscribing. So just hit it right now. It's red. It's just right there. Just hit the red subscribe button. And appreciate you guys for listening. As always, email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Take care.